Once there was a farm with tired fences and a tired moon, and under that moon lived 3 blind mice, small, quick, and always listening. They did not see the world. They felt it in the ground. They counted it in footsteps. They measured it in the wind. The farmer said, "They're only mice." But the farmer's wife said, "They're misfortune." And when a person believes something long enough, it starts to sound like truth. The crops thinned. The hens stopped laying. The well tasted strange. The farmer sighed. The farmer's wife sharpened her anger. One evening, the mice came too close to the house. The floorboards creaked. The wife heard them, and she decided the farm needed someone to blame. After that night, the mice ran lighter than before. They did not speak of what was taken. They only learned a new way to run, faster and farther and together. "Run, run," whispered the grasses. "Run, run," hummed the fences. "Run," said the world, as if the world knew something was coming, because that night the sky looked wrong. Not dark, not bright, just different. Like a storybook page that had been erased and drawn over. A star fell, not gently, but like something thrown. The earth shuddered. The air went quiet. Even the crickets held their breath. The meteor struck beyond the fields. A light bloomed where no light should bloom, and the clouds turned the color of old bruises. Rain came next. Thin, shimmering rain that tasted like pennies and thunder. It soaked the farm. It soaked the mice. It soaked the farmer's wife's anger most of all. That is how the first mouse changed. Whisper, who had always listened, heard the world too well. He heard ants digging. He heard roots drinking. He heard the farmer's heartbeat stumbling like a tired drum. That is how the second mouse changed. Ash, who had always sniffed the air for crumbs, smelled stories in every breath. Fear smelled sharp, lies smelled sweet, and the skies knew sickness smelled like burning stones. That is how the third mouse changed. Morsel, who had always tasted scraps, tasted truth in everything. He tasted poison in puddles. He tasted rust in the rain. He tasted the meteor's shadow. Even when the sun returned, the mice were still blind, but now they knew the world better than sight ever could, and that should have been the end of their tale. 3 small creatures surviving something too big. But the farmer's wife was changing too. Her anger did not wash away in the strange rain. It grew. In the dark, her arms began to ache. Not like sore muscles, like branches splitting to make new branches. By morning, she carried a basket of blades. By afternoon, the basket was gone, because the blades were no longer carried. They were her. The farmer stared and said, "What happened to you?" The wife smiled a smile with corners too sharp. "The mice," she said. "They did this. They did everything." That night, she walked into the fields. The corn leaned away from her. The fence posts trembled, and the world's small sounds, the ones Whisper heard, all turned into one warning. She is coming. The mice ran, not in a straight line, not in panic. They ran like a plan. Whisper listened for her steps. Ash smelled where she had been. Morsel tasted the air and knew where danger would be next. The wife's blades whispered through stalks like angry scissors. Snip, snip, snip. She laughed as if chasing was a game, and as if winning would fix her life. "Come back," she called. "You owe me." But the mice did not owe her anything. The sky fell, not the mice. At the edge of the field, the ground changed. It smelled of burned stone. It tasted of lightning. The meteor's crater waited like an open mouth. Ash stopped. Whisper tilted his head. Morsel tasted the wind and went still. The crater was wrong, not dead, awake. The mice led the wife toward it anyway. Because sometimes the safest path is the one your enemy is too angry to notice. The wife charged, faster than any human should. Her blades lifted like wings made of knives. She shouted the mice's rhyme like it was a curse. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. But the falling sky does not care about curses. It does not care about blame. It only cares about what you bring into it. And the wife brought rage. The crater's stones shifted under her feet. A soft hiss rose from below, like the earth exhaling. She tried to step back, but her blades were heavy, and her anger was heavier. She did not fall with a scream. She fell with a sound like scissors snapping shut, and then the field went quiet again. The mice stood together in the dark. They listened, they smelled, they tasted the wind. The world still wasn't safe. But for one breath, it wasn't chasing them. And that is why people still tell this tale when the sky looks strange. Be careful what you blame. Be careful what you sharpen inside your heart. Because when the sky falls, it does not make monsters. It only shows you what was already there.